What's up, guys? Thanks for joining me tonight. So, tonight, I want to talk to you guys about the one behavior that is silently killing your marriage. The one behavior that's silently killing your marriage. So, I've worked in the clinical setting for over 10 years, worked in mental health, worked in helping hundreds of men help solve the issues in their marriage and helped work with couples and relationships. And I can tell you that this one behavior is the silent killer of all marriages. And sometimes we don't realize that this behavior is even happening because we don't actually have an idea of what it is. So my question for you guys is, right, have you've been in a situation where it's like you feel like you have these pointless arguments, right? It's like a back and forth. Last time you said you were going to be home on time, but then you came home late. No, that's not what happened. Well, I came home late because of this. Well, no, that's not what happened. And you have this back and forth argument, right? And you're feeling like you're going insane because there's nothing that you can say, right, that seems to be able to solve it, that seems to be able to fix it. So you have this back and forth, right? It just goes back and forth and back and forth. And it's draining your energy. It's draining your energy. It's draining your vitality. And it's making you feel tired, right? If you guys can relate to this, right, type in the comments, say, this is me, right? I can relate to this. I've been in this situation. I know for myself, right, I speak from experience. I come from this type of experience. So that's why I have you guys touch base with me, chime in, right? Where are you guys at, right? Do you guys feel like you're in situations where you have back and forth, pointless arguments? Pointless arguments. Pat Raposo says, yeah, that's me, right? Pat Raposo is in the program right now in the Total Breakthrough Academy. Pat says, yeah, that's me. I have these back and forth, pointless arguments, right? And I feel like no matter what, right, I feel like the arguments can be one-sided. We don't hear each other's perspective. I feel like I'm being controlled or manipulated, right? And that could be really common, right? Feeling powerless, feeling unappreciated, feeling disrespected. And this one behavior can be so problematic in terms of the way it just disintegrates and erodes a relationship and eventually takes a relationship to basically the brink of divorce or it ending. As many of you guys know, and I've shared this before, right? My first marriage ended in divorce. And it ended in divorce because I was engaging in a lot of these behaviors that I talk about. And, thank God through obviously everything that I've learned that I share with you guys. And I'm grateful for all the stuff that I've gone through in my life because I'd be more afraid of who I'd be had I not gone through that stuff. And I can tell you, right, if you've ever been in my position, right, and now, thank God, I have a beautiful, thriving, healthy marriage, right, that I worked very hard on myself to create. And I kept thinking, I got to solve the problem in my marriage. I got to solve the problem in my marriage. When the reality is, you don't need to solve the problem in your marriage. You need to solve the problem by changing the man that shows up to the marriage. It's not about changing the problems in the marriage. It's about changing the man that shows up to the problems. When you change the man that shows up to the problems automatically change. Because the way that you handle them changes. Conflict resolution, negotiation, compromise, cadence, inflection, tonality. Right? All these things are so crucial when we learn about the power of communication. Right? A lot of people ask me, right, how did you learn how to communicate this way? How did you learn how to, even in your content, in your videos, like carry a message? I can tell you right now, years and years and years and years of practice, relentlessly pursuing and being so driven to create the best version of me. Someone who lived above reproach. And that's why, if you guys came and stayed with me, you would see, right? The way that I live my life is I choose to not be common. I choose to not make excuses about why I shouldn't change or why I do the things that I do. And let me ask you, are you tired? Are you tired of blaming your wife? Are you tired? Right? I see so many guys always hit me up. So you're blaming the wife, so you're putting it on the wife. Or you're putting it on, right? You're blaming the husband, you're putting it on the husband. And they're in a situation where they just want to blame their wife. And it's my belief that I believe in leadership. I believe in leading by example. Right? And what so many guys don't realize, it's like, so you think that somehow magically your wife is going to want to change, and that somehow that's going to magically make you change. So you're still thinking that the solution to you changing is outside of you. And you're blaming your wife and making her a scapegoat for why you're not changing. What does any of that have to do with you becoming a better version of you? What does any of that have to do with you taking action to be the best version of you, brother? Because you deserve that. And even if the relationship doesn't work out, don't you want to have closure? Don't you want to have a clear conscience? Don't you want to have a clear conscience to know that I did everything I need to do in my power to create a healthy relationship? See, that's what this is about. It's about not breaking character. It's about not giving your power away to people, places, and things. Does a lion need to prove that he's a lion? Does a lion need to prove that he's a lion? I didn't say do this with other men. I said you need to learn how to do this in a relationship with a woman. My question for you is, who taught you how to treat women? You're so concerned about not wanting to give away control. But see, that's because you don't know where real control comes from. And tonight I really want to talk about the one problem that is silently killing and destroying your marriage right in front of your eyes that you don't even recognize it. The silent killer. And again, guys, what the system never taught you or told you is that you can solve all the problems in your marriage with your wife without her even being willing to go to counseling with you. You guys think, well, we got to go to couples counseling. Let me ask you guys, how many of you guys have gone to couples counseling and that's worked out for you? Right? Pat Raposo says, fuck no. Right? So, how many of you guys have gone to, right? Soul Survivor says, nope. Right? It's a joke. Right? I've never known, right? I've never known a single person. I personally never known any. I've seen everybody that I've seen go to counseling, their relationship has either become worse off or the counselor has used it as ammunition to make it worse for either party. And most of the stuff gets aired out, and then what ends up happening is it creates bigger arguments and fights. Or you go down a rabbit hole about defending yourself about this one thing. It's not if you guys want a place to go and just air out your differences, right? Find a friend to do that. The reality is what we do in the Total Breakthrough Academy is change the man that shows up to the marriage. That guy that breaks character, that can't control his emotions, can't manage stress. And here's the big one, and this is what I want to talk about tonight, the silent killer of the marriage. You ready for it? Here it is. What I want to tell you tonight is that not knowing how to validate your spouse is what is slowly destroying the marriage. Now, what is validation? Everybody wants to feel like they matter, They want to be heard, they want to be seen, they want their feelings to be understood, and they want to be accepted. So validation helps a person feel cared for and supported, right? Everybody can relate to this, right? So many people are chiming in, right? They can relate to this. So, yet, too often people feel that their inner experiences are judged and denied, and this can lead to low self-worth or feelings of shame. Validating your partner and acknowledging that you hear them does not mean you have to agree with what is being said. See, I can validate my wife without agreeing with her. So many times you guys disagree, but instead of just disagreeing, you got to let your disagreement be known, and then you got to invalidate her perspective. See, I can hear somebody out without invalidating them. Invalidation a lot of times can have childhood roots. So the mom, the dad that doled out tough love, right? That invalidated the emotions of their kids, right? A lot of times you don't realize that you become her dad in that argument. You become her mom in that argument. You shapeshift and morph into somebody else because of the invalidation. And guess what? You're pouring gasoline on a fire, bro. You're making it way worse. You're making it way worse. And again, you're basically telling somebody that the way they feel is wrong and not viable. And this can cause damage to somebody's emotional world. And again, learning how to create a validating relationship is what creates a healthy relationship, because it creates trust. So, how would a person be able to regulate their emotions if they think their feelings are all wrong? Again, validating your spouse's emotions can build a sense of trust and helps also the person manage their emotions more effectively. Sometimes she doesn't know what she's feeling. Sometimes you don't know what you're feeling. That's part of the problem, is a low emotional intelligence. You got to lead the way on that. That's why so many of you guys crush it in so many areas of life. But understanding psychology, understanding human behavior, understanding, right, tonality, understanding how to cope with when somebody, a lot of times she gets emotional and it makes you emotional. You don't know how to stand in the middle of that tornado and be calm and be composed. Again, does a lion need to prove that he's a lion? You're giving away your power. Now, a lot of people, when they don't feel validated in their relationship, they end up seeking validation outside the relationship. So now somebody's needs aren't being met, they're not being validated, so they're seeking validation, the need for approval, the quest to impress other people, seeking to be validated. Again, people look for approval and validation elsewhere when they don't have a healthy sense of who they are. And if you belittle, break down, tear down, exalt yourself over somebody in a relationship, guess what? Guess what happens to that beautiful asset that you had called your marriage? You're fucking it up. You're ruining it. Because you're not cherishing it. You're not pouring into it. You're not building it up. A lot of you guys have such high expectations. Like, you enter a marriage and you expect that things should just be the way that I want them to be. And you have expectations without even having a conversation, without even modeling the change. Your behavior isn't even congruent with the demands and commands that you have for your spouse. You don't live what you talk about. So how could you have a leg to stand on? You look like a hypocrite. Now, again, I'm speaking from experience because I've been there. But here's the difference. I called myself out on that. Because guess what? You can't conquer what you don't confront. You can't defeat what you can't define. So if you keep being in denial about it, guess what? Guess where? Guess where you're headed? You already know. You already know. Right? You already know. So here it is again. But this can't be all on us all the time, man. All right, then let's sit back and let's blame your wife then. Let's see what that's doing for you. And here's the thing at the end of the day, brother. This isn't about blame. This is about you taking ownership. This is about you living at your full potential. See, the day that I stopped looking outside of me to justify and rationalize why I wasn't living at my best, at my full potential, above reproach, that's the natural desire. See, here's the deal. I've been there. When you can't fix it, then you can't determine, right? When you can't fix it, you can't determine how to solve it. So what are you doing? You're naturally getting frustrated, right? You're naturally getting frustrated. And so what do you want to do? You want to naturally blame. That's why learning and understanding these techniques is crucial. Again, thousands of guys come through my program in the exact same position as you, bro. And again, this is the reason why I teach what I do. And I know sometimes in the beginning it's hard to hear. But the second that you drop your ego, remove your ego, and actually accept that maybe I can't solve the problem I'm in with the same mindset that created the problem. And at the end of the day, my question for you is, it's not all the time the guy's fault. Well, my question is, why do you stay in a dynamic that's unhealthy for you then? If you're above reproach and your shit is dialed, then why are you still in a relationship where you feel unloved? Why do you want to be with somebody that doesn't love you, that doesn't want to be with you? Because what does that say about you? So regardless, understanding it's not about the relationship, man. It's about you. So many of you guys don't hear my message clearly. This is about you learning how to love yourself enough to say, I'm ready to move on, or enough to create new standards in a relationship. Because guess what? I don't tolerate dysfunction. That's a power move. When I go check it out, I don't do dysfunction. Raising my voice, name calling, contempt, stonewalling, defensiveness, angry outbursts, passive aggression, threats, I don't do that. See, I don't engage in that. That's a power move right there. That's a power move, which most people won't actually take because it forces you to take the high road. Wanting to be right, wanting to make your point. That's all ego driven. So again, man, Graham says peel the onion, right? My boy Graham, right? What's up, brother? So this is, right? Steve says, I've taken ownership, right? It goes up in smoke. I'm ready. I'm taking ownership, right? I love this. And that's what's required, guys. That's all this is. If you, see, here's the thing. I don't take ownership when I don't believe I can fix it. I don't take ownership when I don't want to look at my part. I don't take ownership when I don't want to start to change. And I get it, guys. I've been there, right? I've been there. Again, been there. Been there many times, guys. And again, so many of you guys hear this. This is not about telling men what they're doing wrong. This is about lifting you up to be the leader that God called you to be, right? This is about lifting it up, right? So again, if you are in a situation, right, and I'm gonna mention this. I recently, because there are these situations, right? Somebody reached out to me in the messages and said, and it had MILF in their name. And she's talking to me about how her husband isn't going to change. And I thought to myself, man, this guy. And again, that's a man who's probably so passive in the relationship, he's getting walked all over. So again, that's about why is he not being the leader that he needs to be? A lot of guys in my program end up realizing that the relationship is unhealthy, but because they feel so broken that they stay in it. Don't you see? It's still about the same issue, brother. It's still about the same issue. Why are you not living at your best? This isn't about kissing your wife's ass. This isn't about laying down and let people walk in all over you. That's not what this is. This is about elevating your standard to another level. Being different. And that's why I love that Jordan Peterson quote. Right? Which is, a good man is a man who's capable of violence but willingly restrains himself. I love that because it's so true. Right? We know what we're capable of. I know what I'm capable of. But see, here's the power move, is that I choose the high road. Because I know that that keeps me in a state where I'm in alignment with the best version of me, with my values. My values and my actions correlate. Actions, values. Anytime you have a large division between what you value and what you do, you're going to have what's called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance, right? Cognitive dissonance is when you have disharmony. It's like, I value being a good dad, but I neglect my kids. That's going to create disharmony. And the only way to deal with that disharmony is to negotiate, bargain, blame, avoid, rationalize, justify, minimize. These are all defense mechanisms. Why? Because it's uncomfortable. Very few men, amidst this discomfort, will actually make a choice to say, that's actually me not living in alignment. Not, oh, well, Tom does it. Oh, well, it's my wife's fault. Oh, well, it's this. Very few men will actually look at themselves. And again, this message isn't for everybody. And I understand that. And I respect that. It's not for everybody. I've been through hell in my life to get to where I'm at. And you know what? This requires a certain type of mentality. It requires somebody to be willing to go to the deepest parts of who they are as a human being, to really do some soul searching. It really does. And so many of you guys don't realize that gives you everything. That gives you everything, man. That work. And here's the thing. Graham says dark night of the soul, right? Alignment is everything. Rosalind, right? You guys don't realize when you go to that place, you start to realize why you're even in this relationship. What's missing in the relationship. Why I stay. Why I go. Why it's right for me. Why it's wrong. What I'm doing. You develop clarity. You guys, so many of you guys are stuck because there's no clarity. Because you don't see the problems. All you see is what's happening on the surface. You don't have x-ray vision. So you don't even know what's going on. Half of you guys don't even know anything about your spouse's childhood. You don't even know anything about your spouse's history. You had previous marriages, and you're bringing the same communication style from that marriage into this one. It happens, guys. It's normal. But my question is, what are you going to do about it? Sitting back and blaming your spouse. I'm sorry. Like, that's just not my style. If that's something you want to do, okay. Live your life, brother. If that's what you want to do, then live your life. But try solving the problem with that mindset. Wait around and wait for the change to happen outside of you before things change. And don't you understand? You can't fix the inside from the outside, bro. It's what I always say. That's why it's called the inside out method. It's about working on the inside. Changing the inside. There is nothing in this fucking world that should stop you from looking at yourself and being the best version of you. Period. Whether you're in or out of that relationship, whether you stay or go, you deserve that. You deserve to know your best. You deserve to experience your best. You deserve to live at your best. And brother, you deserve to love yourself. That's what this is. So let's be clear about it. It's nothing else other than that. It's nothing else other than that. And see, I can't give what I don't have. When I didn't love myself, you think I could love other people? No, my pain, my trauma, my anguish is bleeding out on everybody around me. And then I'm having an expectation that people should conform to that. You're so much better than that, man. And that's why you guys, I know that some of you guys feel it. It's like the passion that comes off me. It's because I know what God did in my life. And call me crazy, I like to see men succeed and create transformation in their marriage. By being leaders, by being above reproach. Yeah, it takes time, but every single time it's like, if I take your marriage, some of you guys think it's just supposed to change like that. If I take your marriage and your marriage is this big mound of clay, this big ugly mound of clay, and I drop it in front of you, and it's on a potter's wheel, and I tell you, turn that into a vase. That's not going to get turned into a vase in one turn of the potter's wheel. That takes time. It takes time. It takes time to shape the relationship. But guess what? Are you going to expect somebody else to shape that relationship? Or are you going to work hard to shape it? To put in the work? To invest? And again, that's why this message is only for certain types of individuals. People who are ready to commit and go all in. That's why I don't work with everybody. In fact, we turn down a lot of people. Not anybody can join the program. The program is for purpose-driven individuals who are ready to commit. Right? My man Graham says, choose your hard. Staying in a broken relationship is hard. Working on a broken relationship is hard. Fighting is hard. Getting along is hard. Choose your hard. You guys have it backwards. Your concept of winning is a concept of losing. I got to win every argument with my spouse. But you're losing everything. Losing the romance, losing your sex life, losing the intimacy, losing the marriage, losing respect. You're losing everything. But your concept of winning is a concept of winning outside of the marriage. That's why you're not multidimensional. You try to be the same guy you are on the streets and at work that you are in your house. That's why it's not working. Your conflict resolution is the issue, and the absence of validation is slowly killing the marriage. And again, validation starts with yourself, brother. It starts with yourself. To address this, you have to understand your internal experience, your actions, your behaviors. People often fight how they feel. They judge themselves about their experience. Sometimes as guys, we ignore how we feel. We numb ourselves with substances, sabotaging behaviors, habits that we have, and then we justify it. Why? Because Tom down the street does it. It's all the avoidance of pain. Because I won't face the pain and won't walk into it. Let me ask you this. In your relationship, in your marriage, when has getting reactive ever one time ended in an outcome that you wanted? One time. Whereas getting reactive ever one time ended in a result that you wanted. When people like what they see, they're more likely to listen to what you say. So many of you guys are trying to power through your reactivity. It's not working. So I got to first learn to validate myself. What triggered the feeling in the first place? Some of you guys don't even show yourself kindness. You beat yourself up with your self-talk. That's why there's no room for growth in that. That's why half you guys never message me or contact me, because you don't actually believe that you can change. And so it's easier to make an excuse, and it's easier to live in the gray area, and it's easy. But is it really though? And you engage in the self-criticism, man. You don't speak words of life over yourself. You're more than a conqueror, man. And God created you for great things. He created you to be a leader. The bigger the battle, right, the greater the victory. David and Goliath, man, when David faced Goliath with the weaponry that he had, he wasn't confident in the weapons that he had. He was confident in what God was going to do. So many of you guys don't walk out in faith. And you feel it's like what weight is heavier? The weight of self-discipline or the weight of regret? Of doing the work or not? And again, that's why I tell you guys all the time, please take advantage of my free resources. I made them for you guys. I created them for you guys. The links are in my bio. Please utilize them. I made them for you. It's amazing to me, right, when people don't utilize what's available to them, and then they continue to make excuses about why things aren't changing. When do things change? When you change. When you stop looking outside of yourself and you start to look at yourself. Because you can only change yourself. Everything else you can influence with leadership. But you have to be the change. The change starts with you, the initiative that you take. Hanging around other individuals who are on that path. People in the Total Breakthrough Academy were on that path. All my guys are on that path. They're on that journey. They're breaking free. They're breaking through. Just had a guy message me earlier. I just put it up on my page. Which, by the way, guys, I know you've seen a lot of stuff in the news about TikTok and all this stuff. If you haven't now, go follow me on my other platforms. The links are on my page. Instagram, Facebook. And join my Facebook group, please. It's totally free. I'm in here right now with these guys. So, I tell you guys all the time, right? Validating your spouse is, learning how to do this is crucial. And again, kindness and empathy, man. Happiness is the new rich. Health is the new wealth. Inner peace is the new success. And kindness is the new cool. So many people in this younger generation, it's like they think it's cool to be negative. See, again, what's most powerful is that I know what I'm capable of. But see, a lion doesn't need to prove that he's a lion. He just is. No overcompensation needed. And that's not about ego. That's about true confidence. Because confidence is earned. It comes from congruency between your actions and your values. What I do lines up with what I value, and therefore I have integrity. The actions that allow me to be more validating to the people in my life. If a person is struggling, help them identify how they're feeling. What triggered them to feel that way? Some empathy, even if you feel you're the target of their negativity. Here's the thing, people project their inner wounds outwards. Sometimes you don't need to respond. Not everything requires a response. A lot of you guys respond to anything. You're giving away control. You're giving away power. And then anybody can say any little thing to you and it sets you off. Bro, where's your control? You got to know how to choose your battles wisely. There's a time for violence. There's a time for empathy. There's times in your life where you need to be selfish. There's times in your life where you need to be selfless. There's the dichotomy in that, the balance in that. It's about finding that sweet spot. And again, listening to your partner's point of view. That strengthens the bond of the relationship and builds on it, right? Validation doesn't mean that I agree with what my partner is saying. It doesn't mean I agree, and I don't need to let them know that I disagree. It just means that I'm hearing the person out. I'm confirming the importance of how they're feeling. Because I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that I don't make my equal. Why would I want to belittle and talk down to and criticize somebody in my life that God put in my life to make my life better? Why would I not be pouring into that person? Because here's the thing. Are you making the people around you feel better about themselves? When they leave your presence, do they leave better off? When people interact with you, do they leave better off when they leave your presence? And what are you seeing in your spouse? Are you seeing all these imperfections? Because let me tell you this, you can tell a lot about a person based on what they choose to see in you. That's why I never care what people think of me. Could care less what people think of me. And it doesn't come from a place of, I don't care what people think of me. Right? People in my life, but if you don't know me on an intimate level, if you don't know me, then why am I concerned about that? You can tell a lot about a person based on what they choose to see in you. My people, they resonate with the message and they're like, hey, I'm ready to take action, man. I'm ready to do this. And I'm like, yeah, it's time, bro. I got you. All of us, all my team, we got you, bro. We're here for you to help you become the best version of you, man, whatever that looks like. Whatever that looks like, because you deserve it. And you're going to get nothing but love from me, man. And love looks like accountability sometimes. Love looks like encouragement sometimes. Love looks like me giving you a different perspective. Love looks like me holding you to what you set out to do for yourself, which is to improve, to be better. And guess what? Those are the types of people I want in my life. I don't want somebody in my life that's going to co-sign my bullshit and be like, yeah, man, yeah, you should really like look over your wife, or, oh, it's all right that you're talking to... Come on, bro. What types of people do you want in your corner? What types of people do you want to be affiliated with? Beyond Driven is a lifestyle. Beyond Driven is about continuing, even when everybody in your life would understand if you gave up. So many of you guys, there's so many people in your life right now that would understand if you gave up. They'd be like, hey, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it that you're ending the relationship. I totally understand. And you know what Beyond Driven is? Beyond Driven is when everybody in my life would understand why I gave up, I don't. I go further. I go beyond what I was capable of, what I thought I could do. And guess what? When I do that, what happens? What happens? Well, I'll tell you what happens. That ceiling that I thought was my limit becomes my new floor. That's why the program is called Total Breakthrough Academy. Because I'm all about breakthrough. And sometimes, guys, you're so blind to what a breakthrough would look like that you can't even imagine what it would look like. And I get it because I've been there. You're thinking to yourself, man, Tim, all right, I'm ready to change, but what does a breakthrough look like, man? I don't even know what that looks like. I've been stuck here for 10 years. And I get it. That's why you blame. I get that. I tell you guys this all the time. I've been there, man. You want to so badly create a change, but you don't even know what a change looks like. I've been there. Guys, I know what that's like. So many of you guys are confused about this. Man, I tell you guys all the time, like, you guys are capable of so much. Man, if a guy like me to go from where I was in my life to where I'm at now, with the amazing, beautiful family and relationship and marriage that I have, helping thousands of people over the last 10 plus, over a decade. Just imagine what you're capable of, man. And don't you understand that's what this is? This is a journey, man. This isn't about anything other, right, than for you being the best version of you. It's about challenging yourself. You know what? I welcome the challenge, Tim. Bring it on, man. I'm ready. I'm ready, bro. I'm ready for growth. I'm ready to get locked in with some solid individuals. I'm ready to get connected to a group of real individuals who are pursuing real goals, who are on a mission. I want to level up in my area I want to level up in all areas of life. I'm ready. That's what this is. So many of you guys are so confused. You still don't understand. The issues in your marriage don't do anything but reveal the issues that you've always had. And you know what? There comes a time in every man's life, because most men live quiet lives of desperation. There comes a time in every man's life, brother, where you're ready to go all in. What a better gift to give your family this holiday than the new you. And check it out. The new you, when you become the new you, it'll change how they view you. The new you, becoming the new you, will change how they view you. Imagine 2 scenarios. A year from now, you're in the same position. You wish desperately you could go back in time and change the way you acted. You scream at yourself, why? Why did I let myself down? Your family sees you as the same person. They love you, but they don't admire you. Or you stick to your process. You thank God you stuck to your process. The pride you feel is priceless. Your body has become you know who you are. Your energy alone lifts your family up. You don't even need to say anything. You just walk into the house and everybody's like, yes, yes, he's here. Yes, that's my husband. That's my dad. People stoked when you walk in the room. Think about that. I didn't even say anything. All I did was walked into the room. See, power, brother, power. Power is not a position. Power is an emotion. And you've been looking for power in position instead of looking for power in emotion and knowing how to cultivate that. And guess what? You go within to find that, because true power is only found in here, in what God put in you. And guess what? Greatness is in you because greatness made you. It's not a matter of whether or not you have greatness in you. The real question is, why don't you have a relationship with that greatness? Greatness is in you because greatness made you. It's not a matter of whether or not you have greatness in you, brother, what you're capable of, the leadership, like I said. The real question is, why don't you have a relationship with that greatness? And if you're ready to start today and have a relationship with that greatness, right? Hit me up. Let me know. But again, I don't want to work with anybody. I want to work with people that are driven and ready to take action. I'm not holding anybody's hand. You're ready to put in the work, right? We'll give you the frameworks. We'll give you everything you need to succeed. But you got to take hold of it. You got to utilize it. You got to access it. You got to make it yours. You got to build your own relationship with it. So hit me up privately, right? You can message me. Again, the links are all on my page, guys. Take advantage of it. For you guys on here on Facebook, you can type info in the comments. Somebody from our team will reach out to you. Man, happy holidays. God bless you guys. You guys have so much to be grateful for and so much to be thankful for, and you guys have so much capability. So much. Call me crazy. I like to see people win. So if you're ready to win, hit me up. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. God bless you guys, man. Never look down on your situation. We grow through what we go through. And if you need help, if you're ready to change, if you're ready to grow, if you're ready to get on a team with some savages that are doing some real work, message us. All right? Love and respect you guys. Take care.